So, today is back day. So, got my pre-workout here in a mug. So we're gonna just sit this down and then head to the gym. Again, got the old school Orange Fever gym we're going to. So we're gonna do back. Probably start with some lat pull downs, go into some rows. Have some free weights in there, machine work, and yeah. Just deep in thought, thinking about how I'm gonna absolutely destroy my back. But I'll see you guys at the gym. Let's go. Alright, gonna start our back day with some lat pull downs. Try and start with these. So, activate my lats before I go into my other back movements. Find that I've got a very dominant upper back and mid back. So my traps are really dominant. So I always find it's really good to start with my lats as my weak point of my back. So when I'm moving into my other exercises, out of all the muscles on my back, my lats are most stimulated. So it's going to be easier to utilize my lats on other exercises, even though it might be something like a T-bar row, which isn't that lat dominant. But since my lats are activated, it's going to be easier to utilize more of my lats than I would otherwise. So lat pull down, I'm not a big fan of the bar, the straight bar, like holding it like this. I'd much rather go either with cables, but when it has the machine with 2 cables you can attach, pull it down, a bit more free of motion. But the next best thing I find is just outside the shoulder, so nice and wide, neutral. I find that's the best for me personally to activate those lats. So we're going to jump in. I'm already nice and warmed up. Don't want to bore you guys with that again. So I could do pull-ups, but again, I don't want to be swinging and shit. I don't want to be out of control and using any muscle I can on those last reps to get it up, because I'm breaking form. A lot easier to keep form while we're doing our lat pull downs, because we're stationary and we're moving the weight, opposed to a pull up where the bar stays stationary and then you're the one moving and swinging around and all that stuff. So if you want to target your lats more directly, lat pull downs are the way to go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, alright. So I'm gonna do 2 more sets of these. Get the lats nice and primed up before we jump into our next exercise. Probably jump into a row variation. I'll think that up as I'm resting in between my sets to lat pull down what's going to be optimal and how I'm feeling as well. Also want to make sure I'm enjoying my lifts. Alright, now we're moving on to some bent over rows, but I'm going to be using the Smith machine solely because of the extra support it has. Obviously only up and down, safer because I can just drop it without banging or dropping a barbell on the floor or putting it down awkwardly and messing up my back. Now, I had to put a little stand here for myself because you want to make sure you're pretty parallel to the ground, so you don't want to be doing your rows like this. There's no point. You may as well just stand upright and do a shrug instead. So we're going to do our bent over row on the Smith machine on our little pedestal. Now I want to keep the elbows about 45 degrees, not 180, not bar sides. So kind of working our whole back. A good way to think about it is if you're rowing, doing any rowing motion, wherever your elbows are is where you're going to be working as a rough rule. So if I'm doing a row like this, I'm going to be working a lot of my lats. If I'm working a row like this, nice and shoulders up, I only work my rear delts and my traps up here. So what we're doing is we want to have our shoulders somewhere in the middle to kind of distribute the weight. A, we're going to be able to lift more, and B, we're going to be working more muscles because we need to get some more muscles recruited now as we've activated our lats, and now we're going into our back day. It's not lat day, it's back day. So we've got to show some other muscles in the back some love. So I did a warm-up set, about half the weight. Shoulders about just outside the shoulders. Stick the hips out like you're doing an RDL, coming down. You don't want to be completely parallel to the ground because you might feel like you're going to fall forward. But if you just come a couple degrees up, in my case here, I want to be just where it's hard for me to lift off here, just to get that tension so I know I can stay there without falling over. instantly feel that in my lats. Obviously, because I just came off that pull down, but also up in my traps here, in my rear delts, and all through the back here, which is exactly what I want. Everything's being engaged, everything's being worked, which is a great second exercise if your first exercise is trying to target a specific muscle in your back, like I am. So he's actually feeling really good. I'll probably do 2 more sets on these, and then we'll probably go into some supported T-bar rows after this. Also, another reason why you would opt for something like this first, even if you use an all-light belt, not a Smith machine, is, yeah, it's working all up here, but you got to think, if I'm like this and I'm holding, what we got over here, like say 60 kilos, where's that weight? It's on my lower back. So our lower back's holding that weight, and then our upper back is moving the weight. So it would be dumb if I wouldn't say dumb, be naive of me to do my workout and then last off do some bent over rows, because you're just going to set yourself up for failure and you're not going to have a good time. So I want to have good times in the gym, so don't do bent over rows last. Alright, I'm going to do 2 more sets, and then I'll meet you on T-bar rows. Alright, T-bar row. T-bar row. I'm just going to talk like this because I'm too tall for the frame. So, second last exercise for back. Got 4 in total, 2 down, 2 to go. So, T-bar row. Got 50 kilos on it. And we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Because I did my bent over rows, overhand. So my elbows are up like this, right? And I know on my last exercise, I'm gonna have my elbows up again. So what does that mean? I'm working that upper back. What did I say I was lacking in? My lats. So let's go back to a lat exercise. Now, this usually wouldn't be deemed as a lat exercise if it was done overhand, but if I was to go underhand, where my elbow is going to go, my elbow is going to go up nice and tight to my body, and my elbows are pointing straight at what they're most likely going to be working, which is very good, my lats, very good. So you're learning already. So again, I did a warm-up set, not going to bore you with it, but I know how to do the exercise and my back's pretty warm, but what's it going to take? 2 minutes to do a set and basically recover 2 or 3 minutes. Just get in the groove, make sure you're feeling the right muscles, make sure you're set up correctly. You don't want to load it up and then jump into it and it's all wrong. Like those bent over rows, I had to make that little podium. But if I just chucked the podium on, chucked all my weight on, and did my rows, and I went to go do it and everything was wrong, it's just like, fucking hell. You don't, kind of ruins your confidence a little bit. So just come in, do about half to 2/3 of the weight that you plan on doing. Just test it out. Get warm, get a good feel for it, and then you can do 2 or 3 more sets at a high intensity, close to failure. Alright, enough talking. So underhand. Oh, fuck. Oh. Alright, definitely feel it in that upper lat. Oh. So, again, probably do 3 more sets. Just because the back is a big body part. It's like opposed to your chest, right? It's like your chest is just from here to here, but your back is literally from your shoulders down to your glutes. So think about it, 1, 2, about 3 times the size. So with chest, I'd probably do a warm up and then just 2 really hard exercises, really push myself. But with the back, just because it is a bigger body part, just chuck in that extra set here and there, or 1 extra exercise than you would like on your chest, just to make sure you're not neglecting any part of your back. Oh, out of breath. Alright, I'll do 2 more sets on this, and then I'll see you at the last lift. Okay, last lift of back day. So we've done our lat pull down, neutral grip, then we've done our overhand bent over rows, underhand TRX, T-bar row. I'm gonna turn this fan off, it's annoying me. And then lastly, we've got our cable rows, but we're going to use the same attachment as we did for our pull downs. So now we're doing a neutral grip row, nice and wide, come back, again, super dominant up here, so I'm not too fussed about working it out that much. I still want to work it, yes, but it can share the load with my lats and the rest of the back. So nice and wide, just outside the shoulders, come back, like that. Now with attachment like this, just gonna face the camera so you can see. If it's out here, I don't want to be like this. See how I'm not straight on? And the same if I was pulling in, I don't want to be like this. What I want to do, I want to angle my shoulders in a position where my shoulders coming back in line with my hands. So my hands are staying the same. same distance, obviously, because it's the fixed bar. My shoulders, my elbows are moving ever so slightly to keep in line with those hands. That's where you're going to be strongest, and that's how you're going to avoid any injuries with your shoulder or anything. Make sure these are in line so this can take the load properly, and also obviously your back as well, because it is back day, in case you haven't realized already. Alright, again. I just want to contract the back. Chest nice and open when we come in, and squeeze the back. Again, I already did a set the warm up before this, so this, 2 more, then we'll see if we've grown any wings during this workout. Have a little bit of a pose, and then that'll be us. So I'll see you in the makeshift posing room, aka in the corner of the gym. Alright. Alright, let's get the kid off. I mean, it's alright. We're only on day 2. A very wise bodybuilder once told me the best lat exercises you can do is shit like this after you work out. Just pose. Because there's no exercise that actually pulls the lats out apart from posing. Alright, happy with that. Good progress. Tomorrow will be day 3. Day 3 is shoulders. So, but I feel like I always get a shoulder pump no matter what I do. It can be like, but hey, gotta get those Death Star delts as more dates, more dates, more plates, I'd say. Good old Derek. So shout out to the delts. I mean, can you really have too big of a shoulders? I mean, if it's throwing your arms off or your chest, yeah, but until then, all the power to it. Main goal now is, especially after not even going to strain my legs until leg day. The main goal now is to grow as much as possible. Eat as much as possible, grow as much as possible. That's what a build phase is. Yeah, down the road I might be like, shit, my shoulders are popping way too much. Maybe I can cut back a little bit or train them less frequently. But for now, man, after not training properly for 6 months and traveling around the world, it's time to get huge again. Just trying to get back to where I was at, basically. Alright, tomorrow, shoulder day, don't skip it.